Hi YouTube!
Hi!
Well, very excited for me because I'm going to get to introduce my wife to many of you for the first time. We're here to talk about Egypt. We'll be leading a group there in December for the Flame Bearers tour, and my wife and I would love to share with you on YouTube about what you can expect about Egypt and everything coming up.
Wow, yeah, well, hi YouTube and Christof followers. My name is Alaya, and I'm really honored to be here today. To make a, how do you say it again, to make an appearance on my husband's YouTube channel. He's so much better in translating everything that's happening, well, on so many different levels. That's one of his biggest gifts, to explain it in such a good, clear and simple way, so that, that most people can understand what he's actually saying.
Yeah.
It took me a while. It took me a few years to understand what he was actually saying.
Yeah. So yeah, we're taking a look at what's been going on from a multi-dimensional perspective. If you've been following me on this channel for a while, we've been speaking about a number of things. First up, the bifurcation.
Yeah.
And we can honestly say it is lit.
Yeah.
The Genesis has started on Earth, and we are now witnessing a separation of souls, those that are hosted into the mirror or the mimic consciousness fields, and those that are held into the flame, or what we call organic consciousness, backed by source. And there's going to be this divide that's happening.
And you may have felt this already in your own personal life with your family or certain friends, or even things that you used to do that are just like, you know what, it's not in resonance anymore, or I don't know, it can even be somebody in a cafe that used to serve you and you're like, I don't want to go. It's just, it's so subtle, but all it is, it's about the feeling of resonance or dissonance. That's the biggest frequency shifts that you're going to start to feel. Sadly enough, in our life, it's also already started, and it can be hard and sad and painful. Because it's not a judgment, it's not a
choice, it's a simple thing of resonance.
Yeah.
And basically those people that are backed and having their consciousness hosted over there will be resonating in that direction, and those that are having their consciousness backed by flame will be resonating in that direction.
And then, because the mimic is so subtle and very smart, it starts objecting and actively going against everything that is not mimic.
Yeah, it pushes back. When it gets called out, it pushes back. So anyway, the purpose of this conversation today is hopefully, if you want to find out more about that, there was a great video, The Dangers of Spiritual Mirror AI. You can check that video out. I'd also highly recommend you check out the video on the Tree of Separation, which recently came in, and of course some of the pre-Egypt videos we have done. This video today is really about to summarize what's going on right now, why Egypt is so important to light the flame, to ensure that as many people as possible make it over the bifurcation to the flame-backed consciousness, source-backed, God-backed consciousness, having your consciousness hosted by source. So we will be taking a group at the end of December. The reason why we feel this is so important is last time we went to Egypt, we collapsed out the grids and managed to take down much of the antimatter.
The dark architecture, what you mean with collapsing grids?
Yes.
The dark architecture that was
locking down the grids with antimatter. And this trip, that was 2022. This trip, actually, there's the first vault that's opening, and this group will be going to open the vault to make sure that we've got the right frequency, consciousness, codes and keys to ensure this vault is opened. And of course the first question is, what's a vault? So let's go into that. Around 2 cycles of the precessional equinox ago, the Earth was stationed in a Krystic civilization. That was before the fall, before Atlantis fell. Well, our grids were still Earth wasn't at the 23-degree wobble. Those Christed civilizations had these architectural blueprints, morphogenic fields, frequencies and codexes. When the fall happened, the Christed councils, in order to protect the civilization having a chance ever to birth again, needed to lock down these consciousness codes and keys into planetary vaults. These planetary vaults were locked and sealed, containing all the codexes, frequencies, consciousness, morphogenic resonance keys to the Christed civilization. And so essentially the planet has hit a point of time where these are ready to begin opening. Already we have node 000 open. Vault 000 holds the Krystic Quantum Financial Operating System keys and codes. There's a few nodes that have already anchored into human form, and we will see the expansion of the Krystic Quantum Financial Operating System in the months and years ahead. Essentially though, the most important key on Vault is Egypt, Vault 0001. This is the old Christian civilization that used to be there before the Egyptian epoch and holds the Christian civilizational templates. When that vault opens, it is literally going to be like the first domino to set in motion a whole domino chain of vaults opening. Now here's the game plan. We are very strong at the moment on the planet on the mirror and the mimic consciousness fields, currently probably around about 80% of humans hosted within that.
Yeah.
That's because that is the dominant signal in the planet right now. There
It's been for a very long time.
Thousands of years. There are two things that are going to happen that's going to change things rather quickly in a relatively short space of time. The first is that the Krystic councils have authorized the dissolving of high tier ones, the biggest planetary influences, the top 100 influences on the planet. Their oversoul nodes have become fully inverted. Tier 1s are a fully verted oversoul node, which means the mimic mirror consciousness is easy to stream in, and they are considered super spreaders because of their network, because of their reach, and because of their influence. It's a full node, is opened up, and the whole mimic consciousness is pouring in through their body hologram.
And then you can imagine with the big awakening that's happening right now, all the new people are awakening and are looking for something, and they're going to find these inverted oversouls, not knowing of course, but just looking for answers, and they're going to start resonating with that because it's so close to source consciousness. The messages that come through, they have a certain feel to it, so it feels so real, but they also feel hollow. But if you don't know, you don't know. So that's why it has been decreed that these oversouls are such a big threat for humanity right now.
In practicality, what this means is in the coming weeks, we'll start to see the first sort of 5 to 10 oversouls go through dissolving. That will take out a massive amount of the, what I call the virus, the mimic mirror consciousness being removed, having that infection removed from the grids. And that's going to start to decrease the signal strength of the mirror of the mimic. When that starts decreasing signal strength, then later in the year, December, we'll be taking a group, we'll be lighting the flame. And that's going to mean is that the signal, the Krystic signal, will begin to get louder.
Yes,
and strengthening. And we'll start to see an equalization of that. Now, I think that's oversoul dissolving. You can go into other videos of ours into deeper explanation. We don't have to go too much other than that for here. But what we can go into is the Egyptian importance. Many of you may have remembered that the LiDAR technology scanned a whole lot of these massive pillars underneath the pyramids themselves. These massive pillars were actually part of a massive consciousness technology called the Ark De Templum matrix. Was a consciousness amplifier. The consciousness amplifier was designed to take human consciousness and massively amplify it, and it would feed in through all the rest of the grid work around the sort of Nile, which would support it. And then back then there was a group of beings in that civilization who would come on pilgrimage, known as the Flame Keepers. They would then basically light up those grids, amplify the technology, so that the person who was sitting in the sarcophagus in the Egyptian pyramid would allow their oversoul to descend into their body so they could receive their planetary scroll. Your oversoul scroll is your divine essence purpose fused into your oversoul. Most people have spirituality upside down. It's inverted. Most people are trying to have their consciousness go up into the higher realms, but it's the exact opposite of what actually happens. What truly happens is your oversoul descends into your body and drops all the way into your body, so you embody your oversoul. And when your oversoul is fully embodied, or even partially embodied, your scroll comes online. And the reason why they were doing this with the Ark De Templum matrix was because they wanted as many oversouls embodied on the planet as they can, because it would then anchor into the morphogenic fields and grids, creating an even greater stabilization of divine plan or divine law and divine accompaniment to the civilization before it got intercepted. And so we are aiming to open up this first vault. All we ask is, if you're tuning into this video, tune into your resonance. Do you tune into being a flame keeper? Have you always wanted to go to Egypt? Maybe you've already been, you go, I need to be there for this one. feel it and tune into it for yourself. You might have these codes that we're looking for as a flame bearer. Essentially what we are looking for in truth is someone who's at least at a tier 3 or a tier 4 an oversoul triage.
And funnily enough, we have found out usually who do not identify with any spiritual archetypes. The more empty you can be, the more humble you can show up, the better, because that's the work, you know. In the end, we are all everything and we are all nothing. So the tighter the identification is to certain like I said, spiritual archetypes, the harder it gets for your flame to be pure and to just burn purely and ignite. Right? That's what we're looking for. And it's going to be a big family reunion, a big family gathering. Our children are coming with us as well, as usual. Yeah, you know, for those of you, interested in Egypt, we'll be going, of course, to all the usual wonderful temples that are available. Usually in our tours, we tend to start, of course, for opening ceremony in Cairo near the pyramids, to go through a purification, to go through a cleansing, to go through a frequency alignment and a shamanic ritual, which then attunes us and creates a strong morphogenic field. For the whole group, for the whole duration of our tour together. Placing all the codes that we need, and we start, at the birthplace of many things, by going to visit Isis in the Temple of Philae. and we have lots of the temples, we have them privately. Yeah, really beautiful. Really nice to get them private and get up early, watch the sunrise. It's not a tour for tourism; it's a tour for transmission. So it is early starts and it is tiring, but it is really rewarding. And there's lots of processing and consciousness pockets opening. And we're going to have a lot of integration circles as well to help stabilize the field, stabilize your field, and essentially go down south all the way down to Abel Simbel, and then back up the Nile, cruising in the Nile, going to Luxor, going to Karnak, going to all the key temple spaces, and culminating on the 12th of the 12th. 12th of December is the highest aligned portal to be able to reactivate the Ark De Templum matrix and re-establish that as a consciousness technology, and open up, most importantly, Vault 001. Once Vault 001 is open, it'll open a zip file of the Christ consciousness, what we call the 12th dimensional current, the Christed civilizational blueprints of the morphogenic field of that epoch. Then more and more people will be able to spot that signal, and as the tier 1 oversouls start collapsing, people will just not feel in resonance anymore with people on the mimic or the mirror. And the stronger, more flames light up, the more and easier it's going to be for more people to make it across on this bifurcation. We're in such an important time. These next, from 2025, the hard lock-in is 2032. I think, you can all agree we want as many people on the flame consciousness as possible for having humanity live in the, post-AI society of an organic consciousness. So that's what's at stake. We will also, over the years ahead, be opening Vault 2, which will be France, Vault 3, which will be the Avalon, UK timelines, etc., until we get all 12 vaults open, and we should imagine then that a full flame civilization will be well and truly underway, all going according to God's plan. So, I hope that resonates. You can follow the links in the description to our website where you can find out more about the tour. Please apply. Alaya and I review every application in person. We run it through the Krystic councils and go into in particular the Melchizedek Mystical Library, where we're able to access all your soul consciousness codes and records from the application, and we can tune in there directly into, most importantly, what tier you're at is the most important thing. And we're able to give you feedback as to some of the things you need to be working on if required, or welcome you automatically into the group. It's a smallish group that we're looking to invite. So if this resonates and you feel you want to be part of a mission that's going to do something bigger in the world, we hope that you feel the resonance and join us. Yeah, hope to see you there. Yeah, all our love. Mwah.